how you have to prepare for your mains? You have to prepare as per modules. What do I mean by modules? In GS paper 1, if you look at the syllabus, you have 3 modules known as history. Second module is society. Third part of that is geography. In history, you have world history and Indian history also. In world history, every year they will ask one question. At times they don't even ask one question also. So no need to worry about world history to that extent. When it comes to GS paper 2, in your preparation, it has again 4 components, 4 sub-components. One is Indian polity, governance, social justice. The fourth part is international relations. Again 4 baskets. GS paper 3 has 3 baskets, 4 baskets again. Indian economy, you have science and technology, you have environment and disaster management, and the last component is internal security. And you have GS paper 4 ethics, where there will be theory and case studies. And you have essay paper, where you will be given 2 essays and you will be asked to choose, where you will be given 4 essays in each section and you will be asked to write 1 in each. So each is of 250 marks, 250, 250, 250, 250, 250, right? So 1250 marks is from here. And your optional has 500, 1750. For those new students who are here, who are thinking to take optional, go ahead with PSIR. No need to have any doubt in that. Now, out of this 750, if you are getting 50% of the marks in the total exam, even after conducting the 275 personality test also, in the total exam, if you are getting 50% of the marks, your rank will be top, All India rank 1. All India rank 1. And if you are getting anywhere between 45 to 50%, a general category student, you will get less than 200. In order to get that mark, maximum marks has to be scored here. Maximum marks has to be scored. Each paper at least 105, 105. If you are keeping a target of 105 in each paper, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? You will get around 420 here. In optional, at any cost, the least score that you have to get is 270. Minimum, that is the least. Essay writing, you have to get at least 125. That makes you 5, 9, 10, 11, 815. If you are getting 815 in your mains answer writing, consider that your name will be in top 100. If you want to get a top 100 rank in UPSC, this should be the score in mains. Irrespective of the personality test, your name will be in the list. Irrespective of the personality test. What do I mean by irrespective of the personality test? Even if you get the least in personality test, 965 will be the thing. Still, you will be in 100. And if you are getting with missions like Mission Vijayata, if you are participating regularly, your score will be around 190 or more than that. Which means with that score, you will be in top 10. So to crack this exam, mains is very important. Prelims is important, but prelims way of preparation is somewhat different from the mains preparation for this exam. Whenever you are preparing for mains, you have to concentrate on getting the marks, on scoring the highest mark, that is 815 marks. This should be the target. How to get that 815? Optional 275. You have to take care of your optional. Now the rest of the subjects where each is there, you have to get a minimum of 105. This is minimum. There is some scope of getting 120 in GS paper 3 where you can get plus 15 extra here. You can get here around 115, another 10 extra. 15 plus 10, 25. I said here 125 essay. This is basic mark that you will get in essay. There is scope of getting 150 in essay. Another 25 will add. If you are getting that scores, make sure your name will be in the All India top. All India first rank, you will get it. 150 maximum. At times, if you are having good writing skills, you will go even to 160 also. So 125 basically an average student who is preparing for this exam, who is able to write decently, they will get 125. Right. So 125 to 150 you can push it. At least another 20 here, another 10 here, another 15 here, another 10 here. And to get this course is very, very easy. The only strategy is you should know how exactly to write. Many people, what they do the mistake is every day they will take newspaper, they will look at it and they start writing the answers. Many institutes also do say you the same thing. When they start, they ask you to write every day one answer. Every day one answer is not the solution here. The answer here is take the subject as per the module wise. Take the subject as per module wise. Look at how many questions are being asked. If you look at how the questions are being asked in UPSC, in the history, as there are 3 components, they will ask 7 questions here, 6 questions here, 7 questions here, which makes 20 questions. If you come to intern GS paper 2, 10 questions will be asked in Indian polity, 3 questions here, 3 questions here, 4 questions here. That makes your 20. When it comes to GS paper 3, again 10 questions here, 3 questions here, 3 questions here, and the remaining 4 will be from here. They go with a systematic analysis. First try to understand what exactly UPSC is trying to give. They go with a system and you have to understand that system. At times they change it to here, 2, 4, 4, 2. That will be the change, but more or less the composition will be the same. GS paper 4, you have 10 marks here, 10 questions here. In each question they will be giving you subcomponents called AB. So around there will be 20 like this, and there will be 6 case studies. 1.5 hour this, 1.5 hour this. So the thing is, unlike what others do, who will be writing throughout the years, but they will not be getting anything substantial. They will not be knowing where they are writing, why they are writing, right? Even the faculty who corrects them, they are not going to give justice to your answer. So what I mean to say is, when you are preparing for mains, you have to take this module or this module or this module separately, and you have to prepare at one go. This is the first basic thing for preparation. Not going after the subjects, but take the subject as a whole. How outside test series they will conduct. They will conduct outside test series in such a way that they will first conduct GS paper 1, they divide it into subcomponents, and then they will ask you to read. That is not the way to prepare. The way to prepare is take a module as a whole, prepare it as a whole, look at the previous year questions as a whole, try to solve the problems as a whole. So go by module wise. This is the concept with which I am taking the classes here, module wise coaching for mains. What is the advantage that you are going to get when you read a particular subject as per module wise? Advantage is 2. The first thing is whenever you are completing a module as a whole, you will understand what exactly is the components that are being covered here. You will understand what exactly is the components that are there in the module. You will know the syllabus and you look at the components. When you take a module, you will prepare components comprehensively. Right? There will be no segregation. If you are reading it in GS1, there will be segregations. But when you are taking the module, you have to take it as a whole components, not as parts now. Second thing is, when you are taking a module, you will have, once you complete the module, you will have 3 or 4 marks in your kitty. Once you complete governance module, 3 questions will be perfectly there and you will be able to have that in your hand. So the second advantage of module is a sense of completion will come, and sense of completion gives moral boost. You will have a sense of completion and this will have a moral boost. And the third thing is, when you have preparing as per module wise, you can build up an answer. Every module requires a separate set of answering here. Your geography answer works in one framework, society works in some framework, essay writing works in some framework, or governance and theories of work in another framework. So when you are preparing modules, you will prepare the framework for answer writing for the module. Once you are preparing the framework for the module, your answer writing is done. Answer writing is not writing the answer. Answer writing is knowing how to write an answer or how to know the framework for a particular module. For example, Vinayak Chavithi festival is very new, right? Have you ever imagined a person who prepares these ideals of Vinayaka, how they are going to design it? Right, earlier days, how they used to design it, they used to get this mud or plaster of Paris, whatever is available with them, they used to make with their hands. Everything. Right. Now, if you are making the whole Vinayaka with your hands, it takes huge time. Imagine the time that it makes. You have to keep a lot amount of time. But imagine this. Today how they make? They will be having a iron cast ready, a framework ready, right? A cast ready. What they will do, they will just keep the mud inside it, they will press it and then they will take it out. The outer framework of Vinayaka is going to be ready, more or less, and then they will adjust the external things. So if they want to make Vinayakas to that extent, to meet the requirements of the market, what they will do, they will not sit and they will not make each and everything. What they will make, first they will frame the iron cast. First they will frame the model. Based on that model, they will be printing the Vinayakas. Right. Similarly, if you want to write 20 questions, this is like making Vinayaka. 20 questions in 3 hours, where there will be 10 marker, 10-15 marker. If you want to make this, you will be having 7 minutes here, at max 9 minutes here, not more than that. If you want to write answers within that span of time, it is as good as making the so-called Vinayakas by pressing it and taking it from the model. Are you understanding? Are you able to understand what I mean to say? If you do not have the cast ready, if you do not have that framework ready, what we will do, we have to sit and we have to design that, which takes a lot of time, where you will not be having the time to write 20 questions. So answer writing is having a framework ready for each and every module. It has to get imprinted on your brains. If it is general governance, what should be my structure? If it is internal security, what should be my structure? Your structure has to be well imbibed in your brains. Once the structure is ready, framing the answers is not bit difficult. Framing the answers is as easy as the structure. Once your structure is ready, your answer is going to be ready. So, for every module, you should have a framework. Every module will have a framework. Like Vinayaka Chavati will be having a separate Vinayaka cast. If it is Durga festival, Durga iron cast will be made. Right. So, just like for every festival, there will be a separate cast. You should have, for every module, you have a framework. The moment you have this framework, either you write 20 questions, 200 questions, 2000 questions, that is immaterial. Without framework, if you are writing the answers, it is just like a kite which is flying in the sky without any thread which is holding it. Right? We don't know where it lands. Module wise preparation helps you in preparing this framework, and no one will tell you this. They will just ask you to write test series, they will conduct the test, someone will evaluate it. Right? They don't give you the best. But this is the way to get the best. And once you are having that framework ready, now you will get the confidence. Yes, I can write any answers for any subject. Getting the point? So that is the framework which has to be ready. Fourth one is, whenever you are writing essay, you can easily think for the content through the modules. You can structure your essays just like by looking at history, what we have studied in history, we are studying in society, what we are studying in the so-called security, what we are studying in governance, what we are studying in the so-called social justice. So once you are remembering these contents slowly, your body for the essay will be ready. So you can consolidate it, right? As Albert Einstein says, if you want to express something clearly, first you have to understand it clearly. If you want to speak something clearly, first you have to understand them clearly. If you want to express your answers in essay writing in a beautiful way and to get that score of 130 and 114 essays, you have to understand what exactly you have to put there. In order to understand that, a clear understanding of the topic that you are seeing here is required, each and every module. Then only when you take essay, you can write one paragraph at least on each and everything. That makes 11 paragraphs. Even if you consider each para is of 100 words, it will become 1100 words. You are required to write an answer of at least 1250 words. Right? So, more or less here it will be done. Getting the point? So, this is another advantage that you have when you write essay writing. It will give you a framework for essay writing also. And clarity is important. Whatever you read for this exam, you should have clarity. What exactly is it? This exam is not reading day and night the books. This exam is reading minimum, knowing the things exactly, and try to apply your brain through a particular section. This exam is all about this. If you are having this ready, you are ready with your mains. It takes less than 1 year to crack the exam. The only thing is we have to press hard on the prelims. Prelims is somewhat a difficult thing to get out. But once this is done, your mains preparation is done. It doesn't take more than, and the beauty of this way of preparation is, it doesn't take you more than 3 months of preparation. Each module, hardly, this 3, 3, 4, 3, 3, 4, this doesn't take you more than 10 days. At max, it takes 10 days. Right? So this is how we have to consolidate within a very short span of time if you want to become the best writers, to get the highest marks in this category of UPSC. This is how you'll get it. So always follow in your mains preparation with this technique called the module wise preparation. You might be having your own experiences, but out of my experience, this is what I mean to say. Right? Now, every module, whenever you are preparing, it requires, I said, a framework. Right? Now, what I am going to discuss, did you understand this? How the questions are being framed? So what I will be taking from now on is, I will be taking one module and I will be coming to other modules. There are some modules which have some interlinkages with prelims. For example, some modules will be exclusively for mains. For example, if you look at this, society, social justice, aspects of governance, international relations, internal security, at times some disaster management. These things are exclusively for mains, the one that I have doubled underline. So these are exclusively for mains. So I'll be trying to complete them with this mains. Then the rest of the things like history, geography, polity, Indian economy, science and technology. This you have even in prelims. You have to go with prelims, because unless and until you understand the context there, unless and you understand the basics of that, you cannot write a good answer in mains. Indian economy is somewhat different. Even though if you are not having a good knowledge of basics of economy, still you can manage. But polity you cannot manage, history you cannot manage, geography you cannot manage without prelims knowledge. So this components I'll take it later when I am done with the mains component. So first, who are very new here, who have not written any test so far, what I request is, never have this inhibition. I am very new here, I have not written any test. There will be some inhibitions, whether can I write the answers or not. Never have this inhibition. If you have understood the framework, your answer is ready, you are ready. This exam is not about how many years you are preparing here, whether you are getting it in the first attempt or not. That should be the way, right? So in the next attempt you have to get it. If you want to get it, be ready with the framework, and once the framework is ready, I will give you some questions, you start writing. Even if you are practicing 20 questions, work is done. As simple as this. Don't make the things complicated, keep as simple as possible. And if you are having this, I can challenge you that even those guys who are writing regularly in some test series outside, you can beat them. How? With this logic. Now, second thing is, whenever you are preparing, this is first what you have to know for mains, how the syllabus is being given. I'll come to that point again. The first thing of mains preparation is how to prepare for the mains as such. This is the preparation for mains. The second thing that you have to know is, you have to take for every module previous year questions. You have to take previous year questions. Previous year questions booklet has to be present with you, 2013 to 2022, even with this year. Once that is done, it has to be there with you for each and every section. GS paper 3, GS paper 2, GS paper 1, essay writing, ethics, and you should have that for your optional also, right? You should have it. And once you have previous year questions, you have to take whenever a module is going on. Say for example, internal security module is going on. First, what you have to understand is, you have to understand this is the broad schematic way of aligning the syllabus. If you want to remember the syllabus, many people won't even remember the syllabus. If you are not remembering the syllabus, consider that you cannot write the exam. You have to remember the syllabus. How to remember the syllabus? If you have not remembered so far, first remember it in the basket wise or the module wise. Which paper has which subjects, first thing. Second thing is, once a particular module is being taken, look at the subcomponents of the syllabus. Subcomponents of the syllabus or sub-themes of the syllabus. Say for example, if this week I am dealing internal security, you should have syllabus papers with you, right? Where the syllabus papers are available, the one that I have shared. Did anyone bring it? Right? The one that I have shared in the group. I have divided it in a very clear manner, which part of syllabus comes where, right? So have it, and then once this internal security class is going on, when it's a particular module is going on, what you have to do is you have to look at the syllabus in that component. Say for example internal security. In internal security there are 7 subtopics or 7 themes. You should always look at it, what exactly is the syllabus throughout the 7 days, right? It should be like your internal security syllabus has to be imbibed in your brains once my internal security class is done. Until that day you have to remember the syllabus of internal security. Getting the point? Next, when it comes to the next topic, that is called environment and disaster management, you will know the sub themes there. So whenever a particular module is being taken here, you have to go and remember the syllabus, right? That also I will do it every day when I am starting, or whenever I am starting a particular module, I will tell you how the syllabus is framed. Understanding the syllabus is very important here. You have to understand the syllabus clearly. That is the first thing. So understand the syllabus comprehensively. And second thing is, once this is done, you have to look at the previous year questions in that particular module. From previous year questions itself, you will get half of the answers. People are trying to write it, right? You have seen it. So from previous year questions itself, you will get some content. I will show you how previous year questions are going to give you some content for answer writing. That has to be in your brains. You have to analyze. I am not saying you have to read, listen to my comments, right? I am saying analyze previous year questions. What do I mean by analyzation? You have to take previous year questions, you have to look at them, and you have to analyze comprehensively what exactly is the question is speaking. Does this question has any relevance to the previous year questions or not? So comprehensive analysis of syllabus and previous year questions is required. Once you are doing this, half of your work is done. Half of your framework is done with only these two components. Many people will read number of materials in the town, but what I say is keep minimum resources, maximum retention, maximum revision. Work is going to be finished. Minimum resources, enta takku aithe anta minimum resources, because when we are traveling, when you are doing a journey, what they say, minimum luggage more comfort, less luggage more comfort, right? So this is a journey that you are doing. Don't overburden yourself with that books, with these books, right? People are asking Sunya, that this. Don't make the things too complicated. Less luggage, more comfort, less resources. The thing is, when you are maintaining less resources, you'll have that space in your mind to think. Exam is about thinking, understanding, thinking. So the more you think, the more you can present yourself. Uniqueness comes from your brain, and exam is all about your uniqueness. Build up that uniqueness. And how you can build up that uniqueness? You can build that by thinking. It is only thinking which makes a person different from others. Otherwise it will be like a Xerox copy, right? Whatever vision is there, you will be writing that, you will be writing that, you will be writing it. When a paper is being evaluated, all will get the same marks and none of will clear the exam. As simple as this. So you have to show your uniqueness. That uniqueness comes when you are thinking. In order to think that, first you have to reduce your burden. What is that burden? Books, right? Many of us do this. We'll make libraries in our homes, but that is not going to add value. You can build your libraries beautifully after getting the amount, after passing this exam, right? Not before this. That is the first thing. So syllabus and previous year question analysis are very, very vital. These are the two things that you have to have. So what I said, what you should have, take the Xerox. If possible, I will only try to give it. Previous year questions, take that Xerox. You have it. Then that is going to add substance. This is the first thing that you have to have. Now, when I take a particular module, what are the things that you have to know? Every module, every subject will have subject sensitivity. Every subject will have subject sensitivity, right? Like every festival, Vinayaka festival has its own designing. What Vinayaka will have, Vinayaka will be having that stomach, right? Vinayaka will be having that trunk. Vinayaka will be having long ears. So that is the design of Vinayaka. So every module will have subject sensitivity, which means it will have its own way of things, like the trunk, like the so-called ears, like the so-called stomach of Vinayaka, like the so-called that mouse of Vinayaka. Which means when you are taking a particular module, look at Durga festival, right? Durga Mata will be having her own set of design. Cast will be same. Cast you will be preparing, but in that cast, if you observe, Durga Mata will be having lion as her vehicle. She will be having the so-called sword in her hands, right? And she will be having all the feminine characteristics, right? If you are celebrating Sri Ram Navami, Ram will be having one characteristic, Hanuman will be having one characteristic. So what I mean to say is, as I am compared this with the so-called festivals or the so-called modules or so-called frameworks, what I mean to say is every module requires its own sensitivity. You cannot apply the sword to Vinayaka, right? Then that doesn't become Vinayaka, right? You cannot give the so-called bow and arrow to Hanuma, then Hanuma becomes your Rama. So then your image is going to be lost. The thing is, if the image wants its uniqueness, you should give what it requires. So what is that in exam? When you are taking a module, every module will have its own subject sensitivity. Its own subject sensitivity. Every module will have its own subject sensitivity. What do I mean by subject sensitivity? You have to have certain keywords ready for the subject, like the stomach, the mouse, and the so-called ears, trunk of Vinayaka. That is the key of Vinayaka, right? If you are preparing with mud, when you are children, the one thing that we'll make sure is whether that is Vinayaka or not, we'll give these things. We'll keep a big flat, big stomach, we'll keep a trunk. The rest is whether that is Vinayaka or not. When we are children, we used to do the same thing. 3 or 4 things you will take care. If it is Durga Mata, you apply it differently. If it is Rama, you will give to some designs, right? So subject sensitive words are very, very important for every module. Always you have to know for every module at least 40 or 50 subject sensitive words. 40 or 50 subject sensitive words. This is the key, right? When you are writing ethics, you have to have that subject sensitive words ready. When you are writing internal security, you should have that subject sensitive words ready, right? And this is the key for writing any answers. I'll come to that point later. But remember, for any framework, keywords are important. So when you are looking at the syllabus, when you are looking at the previous year questions, you have to not only understand the syllabus, you have to also look at the keywords that they are mentioning in the particular component. You have to also look at the keywords in that particular component, and you should also look at the so-called what the question is. So what I said so far, I am saying how the syllabus is framed by UPSC module wise. What is the advantage that you are going to have when you are preparing it by module wise. The third component that I said is, in order to prepare this, what are the things that you should have is syllabus ready with you, and you have to analyze the syllabus. You should know previous year questions, how they are being framed in each and every module. So the first requirements of you is minimum requirements or minimum resources, that is your syllabus as well as the so-called previous year questions. Now this is the first thing that I mean to say. This is about mains preparation. Once you are doing this, you are going to get a score of this, right? Did you understood so far what I mean to say? Now the next thing is look at here. Understand the beauty of UPSC. Many people will be falling into the line of the so-called market. When you are preparing this exam, you have to fall in line with the so-called UPSC. What do I mean by in line with UPSC? It means you should know, you should prepare that exam as UPSC is requiring. Right, you have to fall in love with UPSC model, not with market model. If you are writing some insights test series, you will be falling in line with insights. If you are writing vision test series, you will be falling in line with vision. Fall in line with UPSC. What do I mean by falling in line with UPSC? You have to understand the way in which UPSC works. How UPSC works? UPSC asks or does their work in a systematic manner, in a coherent manner, in an organized manner. There will be some system, there will be some coherence, there will be some organization. And that can be found in your syllabus, that can be found in the way in which they design the syllabus. Look at here. GS paper 1, they have started with history, then they went with society, then they went with geography. Then Indian polity, then governance, social justice, international relations, Indian economy. Understand the context in which they are framing the syllabus. In order to become the civil servants of this great nation, the first thing that you should know is the history of this nation. Right? If you are speaking about your family, first thing is you say about your family lineage. Right? So whenever you are studying for this exam, the thing that you have to understand is you have to understand the beauty of this exam. The beauty of this exam is shown in the way in which they design the syllabus itself. How they have designed the syllabus. They have designed the syllabus in a systematic manner. They have not given in a haphazard manner or zigzag manner. They've designed it with a very cautious way where one thing will be having a linkage with the next thing. What is that linkage that you find in the syllabus? See, as I said, everything has to start with history. Unless and until you don't know the history of the world, unless you don't know the history of this country, what service we will do? Right. So the first thing is they will make you get acquainted with the so-called the history of this great land. Once the history is formed, history always gives rise to citizens and societies will be formed. Right. So the next component is understanding the history and understanding the society, about which people are present, how many people are present, where they are located, how they are located, what are they getting variated. Right. So this is the second thing that you have to understand. That is the reason why they have given society as the next component. And the third thing is, apart from this, you should understand geographical context. What is the land where this is present, and what are the people who are located in different parts, why they are located in different parts, what are the resources that are present in this land, and how to mobilize them. So they will be speaking about it, which means your entire GS paper 1 is making you to understand the thing called the country as a whole, geographically, historically, socially. Right? భారతదేశం యొక్క చరిత్ర, దాని యొక్క భూభాగం ఏంటి, సరిహద్దులు ఏంటి, రైట్, జియోగ్రఫీ, దాంట్లో ఉండే జియోగ్రఫికల్ కాంపోనెంట్స్ ఏంటి, తర్వాత ఏం చెప్తుంది, దాంట్లో ఉండే సామాజిక పరిస్థితులు ఏంటి. Until and unless you don't understand this, we cannot be able to write a substantial answer. So this clearly saying, first you have to know clear knowledge about history, society, and then geography, and then they have connected it to ruling. Once the land is ready, what you will be doing, you have to rule it. In order to rule it, there should be some principles, and that is done in GS paper 2. So you have to rule it, you have to govern it. And how you will be governing it? You will be governing it inside your country, and whenever you are doing this governance will be even associated with outside the country also at times. Right? Majorly your country has to be ruled inside. For that there should be some structure of governance, and that structure of governance, how this is being ruled, that will be given in the first component of GS paper 2, that is called Indian polity. Polity speaks about ఎటువంటి రాజకీయ పరిస్థితులు ఉన్నాయి ఇక్కడ అనేసి. Polity is not politics. Polity is the way in which your country is being framed. Right? గవర్నెన్స్ చేయాలి అంటే ఎటువంటి స్ట్రక్చర్ ఉండాలి అనే దాన్ని అంతా పాలిటీలో ఉంటాయి. లైక్ యువర్ లెజిస్లేటివ్, లైక్ యువర్ ఎగ్జిక్యూటివ్, లైక్ యువర్ జుడిషియరీ. లెజిస్లేటివ్ ఈజ్ వన్ వింగ్, ఎస్టర్డే యూ సెడ్ జుడిషియరీ ఈజ్ వన్ వింగ్, ఎగ్జిక్యూటివ్ ఈజ్ వన్ వింగ్. ఇదే కాకుండా ఇంకా ఏమన్నా స్ట్రక్చర్స్ ఉన్నాయా ఈ గవర్నెన్స్ చేయడానికి? ఎందుకు, ఇంత పెద్ద భూభాగం ఉంది, ఇంత పెద్ద చరిత్ర ఉంది, ఇంత పెద్ద సామాజ్యం ఉంది, సమాజంలో ఇన్ని భిన్న భిన్న అభిప్రాయాలు కలిగిన వారు ఉన్నారు. మరి అటువంటి వారికి అన్నిటికీ ఇఫ్ ఐ వాంట్ టు గివ్ ద సో కాల్డ్ justice, what I have to do is I have to ensure that first I have to design a grand framework of ruling. Further, they have given the first next component as Indian polity. After this, any government will work only for one thing, that is called welfare of its citizens, and that welfare is known as governance. Government is ready. Now what is the duty of government? Government has to do one duty. What is that duty? To protect the people, to give welfare to the people, to ensure that the aspirations of the people are being met. How that can be met? By framing some policies, and that policy framing and that way of doing the work is known as governance. Government is the structure, governance is how you are going to make sure that the welfare schemes are being worked. The functions of government is called governance. That is given next. And why they do this? They do this to ensure that there is justice for each and everyone who is present here. So ultimately, with your governance, you have to do justice. That is why the third component. So internally, whenever you are ruling, whether that is a democratic government, whether that is a monarchical government, either that is a king or either that is a democratically elected person, what they should have? They should have a structure of designing. They should ensure that the welfare of the people is happening. They should ensure that there is social justice which is happening for the people. How can you ensure that there is social justice for the people? You can ensure that by the so-called these three frameworks, 1, 2, 3. If this is not being done, there will be revolution. If the people are unhappy, right? Today 1 people is unhappy, tomorrow 10 people becomes unhappy, day after tomorrow hundreds become. So, right? If you are feeling that there is inequality, if you are feeling that you are unjust, right? Then it breeds revolution. Inequality or injustice breeds revolution. విప్లవాలు ఎక్కడి నుంచి వస్తాయి? నాకు న్యాయం జరగలేదు అంటే విప్లవం వస్తుంది, రైట్? సో దట్ ఈస్ ద థింగ్. దట్ ఈస్ వై 3 things are important. This is democratically ruling inside your country, within your geographical area. Now a country cannot get isolated in itself. It has to have some linkages with outside countries also. So the policies will not be just with your country but outside countries. That is why they have given the next component as international relations. In the first paper they explained about the history, geography of this land, society of this land. In the second paper they are explaining about how this has to be governed internally and externally. In the third paper, now in order to run this country, what is required? Money is required. This speaks about the subject which speaks about money is economy, right? So it is speaking about that aspect, Indian economy, right? So they will speak about how the money has to be generated, how it has to be distributed, what are the resources, how to convert them into money, what are the sectors that are available in the country, from where I have to get the investments, from where to which expenditure I have to keep that money. So they will be discussing everything here in the economy. That is why they have given economy. Now any country to grow economically, they have to use the help of technology. Otherwise economy will be going at a very low pace, right? So how technology is aiding for the so-called economic development. So that is the thing that we study. Say for example, if you are developing ISRO or space technology, it is going to add revenue to the government. If you are having defense technology, it is going to give protection, right? So everything, the technology, without technology you cannot progress. As a result, immediately after growth, that is called economy, they have given science and technology. And the next component is they are making you very sure that in your quest for growth, in your quest for money, don't spoil the nature, don't run after the institutions to earn the money. Take your time, enjoy the nature, right? How? By not destroying the nature. So what they are saying is economy should be there, and that should not come at the cost of the so-called environmental degradation. If you are making that economy to function, if you are making that technology to come out of the so-called environmental degradation, that is going to lead to disasters. That is what they have given next one, right? So look at the linkage now. Now once this is not being done, economic growth is not happening. If you are not understanding history, if you are not understanding society, if you are not understanding geography of the land, if you are not doing governance properly, right, internally or externally, and if there is no economic growth, or if that growth is coming from the so-called disasters if the technology is coming from the so-called disasters, obviously certain sections of your people are going to be unhappy and they are going to take arms and ammunitions into their hands, and that makes the component of internal security. That becomes a issue of internal security. Right. Earlier, this was the components in UPSC syllabus. Now they asked or they have added one more thing, that is called ethics. Whatever the things that you have, unless and until there is ethics in the hands of the people, in the minds of the people, you cannot ensure a society or you cannot run a country as a whole. For that they have given the next component as ethics. So look at the system in which they have framed the syllabus. They have framed it in a, I said this, they have framed it in a coherent manner. This is called a coherence that you find. And they ask you, when you are writing the answers, they ask you the same thing. Don't write it in an haphazard manner. Write in a systematic manner, well organized manner, precisely, concisely. What does that mean? You have to write in a systematic manner as they are showing it to you. Right. So whenever, this is an indication that we get from the syllabus itself. Whenever you are writing something, think organizedly, think comprehensively, think coherently. Coherence means there should be some resemblance. That is what I say. Whenever you are participating in Mission Vijeta, always think about what the next person is saying and then link it with to the next person. Why? This is how you build up the linkages. Otherwise, we'll speak one point there, we'll write one point there, we'll immediately go to here, we'll go here. Right? Your answer will not be a proper answer. It will be like a khichdi. Right? You'll be mixing everything and giving it to the evaluator to evaluate as he likes. Right? That doesn't work. Right? This is the next thing. So the beauty of UPSC you have to understand. This is the beauty of UPSC. The moment you understand the beauty of UPSC, then you are going to fall in love with UPSC. So first fall in love with UPSC.